Hey yo, football fans, it's another great year. Fantasy football fiends, grab your beer. Giving you the best draft tips for all your picks. Starts and sits to the waiver wire fix. From mock drafts galore to stats that's hardcore. Triple F does it all, have y'all screaming more. So sit back, relax, let the experts prevail. JT Magnum, Siggy Guns never fail.
What's up, fantasy football fans? My name is JT Magnum. Welcome back to our week 11 of our Stardom and Stidham show. And it's been a crazy 10 weeks so far. It's been ups and downs with us this year with picks and everything like that. But I'm glad you're sticking with us. I'm glad that you're still watching. And I appreciate all of your guys' support. But let's get into the Draftkings. The results of the Draftkings. I think I only had 3 this time, 3 lobbies. But the first one was the early game bragging rights. And that one goes up to, shout out goes to Throw Up the X90 with 142.6 points. I came out in, I don't even know what place I placed. 21st. That's what it was. That's what it says. 21st in this one. Really bad. Not bueno. But let's do the second one. The second one was the afternoon only bragging rights, and that one ended up with me in 9th place. And number 1 goes, shout out goes to Zombie 13, either Zombie 13 or Zombie I3, one of the two. So Zombie, congratulations, he had 184.56 points, and you can see my lineups there as always. And we go to number 3. Of the 3 contests, which is the regular bragging rights, which is I guess all the games I think is in this one, or all the Sunday games I think. And shout out goes to LA Dodger with 186.14 points. I actually came out in second place in that one. Zombie came out in third. He was in there as well. Some other notables: Coolio, AJ Derby, New York Yankees. I believe I've seen your names before, But yeah, shout out to LA Dodger for winning that one. And let's move on. Let's get into the waiver wire pickups of the week. I'm gonna start doing these with the show, I think, on Wednesday or Tuesday, I should say. That's when this will be released. But so that way you guys get your waiver wire picks in, and you guys can ask some questions and then get your waiver wire picks in for Wednesday, because usually that's when people put in waivers is today, which is Tuesday. The waiver wire pickups I have are, and you might already have this dude, it's Jeremy Langford. A lot of people dropped him because he was injured and Jordan Howard was doing so well, but Jordan Howard was a little banged up in that game. He says he's fine, but then again, a lot of players do that. A lot of players say that, or coaches will say that, and next thing you know, Jeremy Langford's starting. So if you want to get somebody to put on your bench just in case Jordan Howard does go down, you get yourself a nice starting running back, Jeremy Langford would be the guy for you. Number 2, Brandon Lafell of the Bengals. AJ Green was banged up in that game, so that immediately makes Brandon Lafell a hot commodity, as he will become the number 1 wide receiver if AJ Green is down a game or 2. So that'll be a nice plug-in for you, especially if you need some help at wide receiver. You got some wide receivers hurt, or you have an AJ Green who went down. Number 3, Taylor Gabriel. Believe it or not, he's the 3rd wide receiver for Atlanta, but he's scored a touchdown the last 3 games, and he's been one of those silent but deadly wide receivers that you don't hear too much about, but yet the guy is scoring points. So he's a guy that you can look at if you have a wide receiver 3 that you need to plug in, or if you have a flex spot that you might need to plug in because you got somebody on a bye or somebody's banged up. He's a nice little option. He's been consistently scoring over 10, 12 points a game, and that's the kind of guy you want in your team, especially to fill in that spot where you might, get under 10 points or something. You need that, you need those extra points. Every point matters now, because you got to try to make the playoffs. You got to score the highest points you can to maybe beat out somebody else, or, to maybe get that first place spot, or what, points are a big deal when it comes to fantasy, especially with tiebreakers. Number 4, CJ Prosise. I talked about him last week, actually, and now this is serious now. You got to pick him up. The guy is actually balling out now, and he looks like he's the man right now in Seattle. They like him a lot, and he looks like he's unseating Christian Michael. Number 5, Rob Kelly. Matt Jones hasn't been able to go. Rob Kelly got another start. So look for him, and he's getting a lot of touches. He's not just getting starts, he's getting a lot of touches. Chris Thompson fumbled in the last game, so that gave Kelly even more touches because once you fumble, a lot of coaches will pull you, and that's it. Didn't see much of Chris Thompson after that fumble, like maybe a couple times, but still Rob Kelly is getting a lot of touches. He might not be getting the most yardage, but he's getting a lot of touches. With more opportunity becomes more opportunity to score touchdowns and more opportunity to get a lot more yardage. So I would pick him up if you have a chance, if you haven't picked him up already. Or if he hasn't been picked up already, I should say. So let's get into the stardom portion of the show. And my starts for the week at quarterback are Marcus Mariota, Alex Smith, and Blake Bortles. And Mariota is on absolute fire right now. The dude started off so slow. I remember I actually had him on one of my fantasy leagues, and I dropped him. Because I was so annoyed with him, I actually dropped him. I gave up on him. I was annoyed, and he was one of my picks this year to be a breakout player this year. And I didn't follow my own advice, guys. I didn't follow my own advice. Can you believe that? I dropped him. I was a little annoyed, and I ended up later trading for Aaron Rodgers. So I kind of made up for it, but at the same time, I should have kept on to him. I should have held on to him, and I didn't. But he's on fire, and he's playing Indianapolis, who's giving up a ton of yardage and through the air. And they might be getting a little bit healthy in their secondary, but they're still giving up a ton of yardage through the air, and they're going to give up some points. And Marcus Mariota, like I said, he's on fire right now as wide receivers. And it helps when you have the running back like DeMarco Murray running the ball and making it easy for you to pass the ball. So I really like Marcus Mariota against Indianapolis. The running backs, I have Legarrette Blount, James Starks, and Doug Martin. And Legarrette Blount I will talk about playing the 49ers. Last week, David Johnson didn't score a lot of points. Well, he did score a lot of points because he scored 2 touchdowns. But he didn't get a lot of yardage against the 49ers, which was shocking because the Niners have been giving up 100 yards running backs 7 weeks in a row, I think it was. And now Legarrette Blount comes to San Francisco, and New England will run the ball. And he's got 12 touchdowns already in the year. I think he leads the league in touchdowns right now. And he's going against that. He's just going against a bad San Francisco run D. Whether or not they maybe showed it up last week, who knows? Maybe it's because Arizona's line is banged up. But New England's not going to play the same game, and I just think Arizona's going to, or San Francisco's going to falter with that, and Legarrette Blount's going to run on them. Remember, I'm a 49er fan. There it is behind me. And I'm telling you, the Niners can't stop the run. So look for him to score a lot of points this week. Wide receivers, I have Rashard Matthews, Jamison Crowder, and Cameron Meredith. And I'll talk about Cameron Meredith. No Alshon Jeffrey, suspended 4 weeks for PEDs. That makes Cameron Meredith the number 1 option now in Chicago, and he is a must pick up. If he's in your league somehow, dropped from someone, pick him up while you got a chance. He had a good stretch. We had a good couple weeks. Then Jay Cutler came back, and now his numbers seem to go down. But he is the number 1 option now. I'm sure they're going and practicing with each other right now as we speak, and he's probably going to get a lot of targets. And like I said, when you see a lot of targets, more chances for yards, more chances for touchdowns. He's a big target, and I think he's going to get a lot of balls thrown his way, especially at the Giants. Giants have been playing great defense. But when you're the number 1 option, you're just the guy who's going to get just tons of targets. So we'll see what happens with him, especially in garbage time. If the Giants are dominating this game or beating the Bears up pretty well, you're going to get garbage time points, and that's part of fantasy football as well. Tight ends, Martellus Bennett, Ladarius Green, and Vance McDonald, and I'll talk about Ladarius Green. Didn't do much last week against the Cowboys. It was his first game back off the PUP list, and I just think in the second game, going against that Cleveland Browns defense, who's giving up a lot of points and a lot of yards as well, second game is going to be a charm for him. And what perfect team to play than the Cleveland Browns, where he can actually get some decent fantasy points and get some confidence. And I think Ben Roethlisberger is going to throw him the ball a ton. I like Ladarius Green, very athletic tight end. He's going to show it. He's going to show it against the Browns. Defenses, I have Dallas, Miami, and Oakland, and I'll talk about Miami. Dolphins D hasn't been the greatest of D this year. They haven't played that great, but they're playing a Rams offense that's just, let's just face it, they're garbage. They just played a game where they won 9-6. 9-6, and then they can't score. Kenny Britt has been the only good weapon for them on offense the whole year. Gurley hasn't done much. Kenny Britt has been the only bright spot. Let's just talk about this for a second. Kenny Britt has been the only bright spot for the Rams this season. Their quarterback is horrible. They will not put Jared Goff in the game for reasons that are beyond me. I have no clue what's going on with the Rams or their front office or their coaches or why they won't start Goff. And Case Keenum has been so bad. How bad can Goff be that he can't unseat Case Keenum? And Case Keenum is just absolute garbage. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think Miami's going to have a pretty good day, even though it's in LA. They're going to have a pretty good day with that Rams offense. I think they're going to get to the quarterback, and they're going to do a lot of – it's just going to be a bad day for the Rams on that one because the Miami's coming in pretty hot too. So let's get into the sit-em portion, and my sits at quarterback are Carson Wentz, Carson Palmer, sticking with that Carson theme, but then we got Russell Wilson. I'll talk about Russell Wilson playing against the 7th best pass defense in the league, who had a great game. The only team this year to finally actually shut down Matt Ryan and the Falcons. They maybe not just shut him down completely, but they did a great job against Matt Ryan. All these top defenses had Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan was scoring points against them like crazy, but for some reason, the Eagles were able to shut him down, and last week I wanted to pick Matt Ryan for a sit-em, but I just can't do it. I told you guys I won't pick against Matt Ryan again because he was just having such a phenomenal year against all these defenses that I was like, forget it, I'm not going to do it. But Philadelphia actually shut him down, and I think they're going to do the same to Russell Wilson, and I think the Seahawks are going to do the same to Carson Wentz. So it's going to be a low-scoring game, I believe, in that one with Seattle and Philly. Running backs, I have Mark Ingram, Frank Gore, and Jordan Howard. I'm not sure if Jordan Howard's going to play. Looks like he's going to play from what he says, but if he does play, Giants defense only giving up about 92 yards rushing per game. Their defense is revamped. You can't run on them very well, and they just got those big boys up front that have been playing phenomenal football. And I think Jordan Howard, despite playing well against the Vikings and some other teams as of late, I think he's 4 straight 100-yard games, I think it is, or something like that. Well, I know his last 2 100-yard games, but anyways, playing against that Giants team, I don't think he's going to get there, and I think the Giants are going to stuff him pretty much at that line of scrimmage, especially in New York. Wide receivers, I have Jordan Matthews, Stephon Diggs, and Mike Evans, and those are 3 pretty good names. They've been really good fantasy wide receivers this year. Shh, that's my dog. They've been really good fantasy wide receivers this year, and I think Mike Evans going against KC, against Marcus Peters, he's going to have a rough time against him, especially at home. KC at home has been playing phenomenal defense. They've been playing great defense at home, and I just think against Marcus Peters, Mike Evans will have a little bit of a hard time and not put up the numbers that he's normally been putting up. Tight ends, I have Dennis Pitta, Cameron Brate, and Zach Ertz, and I'll talk about Zach Ertz. Seattle's defense was great against Gronkowski. They actually hurt him, and they've been amazing at home. So it's going to be a little tough. It's going to be tough for Philadelphia to throw the ball. It's going to be tough for the Seahawks to throw the ball. But given the fact that Zach Ertz is just going to have a hard time playing against that Seattle defense, I think they're going to be struggling a great deal against that Seattle secondary, who's just, their defense has just been on point pretty much all year long. And the defenses, I have Baltimore, Houston, and Minnesota. And I'll talk about Baltimore. They're the number 1 defense right now in the NFL. Their points per game, I believe they're 3rd in points per game allowed. They're 1st in yards allowed. And surprisingly, this team has just been amazing at defense. But they're playing a Dallas team that is just coming in on fire. 2 great rookies in Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott running behind an amazing offensive line. And that's the difference right there is the offensive line play. Dallas has been able to just basically part all defensive lines and just been able to protect their quarterbacks. And I don't see that Baltimore team getting to the quarterback. I don't see them being able to stop Ezekiel Elliott either. They're going to run right at him, whether it be between the tackles or outside. And that's the way to stop Dallas, is to stop that running game. And I don't think anybody can do it right now. They're just too tough right now, and I don't see the Ravens being able to do it. It isn't that Dallas's offense is, the most highest scoring offense in the world. It's just that they dominate you so well at the line of scrimmage, and they score enough points, and their defense, it keeps their defense off the field, and you've seen their defense. The defense is not that great either, but it keeps their defense off the field, and it keeps them fresh enough to be able to play good defense, and that's why I think Dallas is going to come out on top in this game, and Baltimore is going to have a rough time stopping Ezekiel. So that does it for the Stardom Show, guys. Leave your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to sign up for Draftkings in our league. Just join our league. It's in the description, and then you can join all the contests that they have there. Whoever started the contest with the t-shirt, I hope you actually gave somebody a t-shirt, because that's not my contest, guys. I don't know whose that was. I actually put a message in there saying I hope you're actually giving away a t-shirt if you're going to make those kind of I mean, if you're gonna give a thing where you're saying you're giving away a DraftKings jersey or something like that, make sure you're at least doing it. Stay, own up to it. But guys, the leagues have been great. Everybody's been, joining, participating. It's been awesome. It's awesome to be able to shout you guys out. And don't forget, help each other out in the comment section. I think Vault Boy's account got suspended or something happened to his account. I'm not sure what happened there, but something happened to his account. So I'll make sure I pay attention a lot more this week to the comment section. I'll try to answer everything I can. And guys, if you're going to leave links to your channels in the description or in the comments, it's fine if you leave one link or something saying, hey, I made a video, come check it out if you want. That's cool and all. But don't spam every single comment in there and bother people and leave every other comment I have to see it, because I'm just going to delete your comments then. I'm cool with you guys, saying that you make videos too, and I'm cool with supporting people that, want to do fantasy videos too. I have no problem with you guys, but when you guys constantly spam them all down there, that's a little rude, and I really don't like that. So I will leave your one link there, and I'll delete all the rest, but try not to do that, guys. It's kind of disrespectful, and I don't do that to other people's videos. I don't go into other people's stuff and do that on the big channels, whether it be, the fantasy footballs, things like that. I don't even go on their channels to do that, but, I allow it on mine because I just don't care. But when it's that much, then I care, because now you're kind of bothering the fact that I'm trying to answer questions, and it's just a waste of time looking at those things. So try not to do that for me, guys. If you can, please. That's all. I'm just asking. So yeah, best of luck to you guys in your week 11 in your DraftKings. Best of luck to you in your week 11 your fantasy. I'm 8-2 in 2 leagues. Whew. But hopefully that leads to something good. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. So best of luck, and I'll see you next week, guys. Peace.